Hello and welcome back to That Pink Couch podcast. This is the podcast with no name. That Pink Couch podcast, the podcast with no name. Yeah. But actually, on that suggestion, I've got a notorious SID of being Chris Stark, as usual. I've got a load of suggestions for this podcast names. Do you want me to read a couple out?
Let's go.
That Peter Crouch forecast.
Yeah, I quite like it because the whole point of this podcast is meant to be sort of looking ahead to the weekend's football. Yeah, predictions and that. I quite like the weather angle with this.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's from Darren. Thank Crouchy, it's Friday. Gareth. Nice. Yeah. That Preter Crouch podcast. That's good. That's good. Crouch's huge build up. Yeah. Adam, puddings and pancakes from Phil.
Yeah. That could be a name of our pub one day, Steve. That sounds good.
Puddings and pancakes.
Puddings and pancakes.
I like that.
Yeah.
2 oats and a packet of pancakes from Angelo. That's good. Weekends at Crouchy's from John. TGI Football Fridays. Chris, nice. Calm before the scores, Tom.
The calm before the scores is nice.
Yeah, that's
it's nicely
intelligent.
done, isn't it? That foreplay podcast.
Yeah.
Don't know where that one's going.
I like it. That Parchy predictions from Will. Pancake punditry from Frederick. Fridays is massive.
I see. That's actually good.
I do like it. Pitches, pints and predictions from Sam. Crouchy's extra inch.
Yeah. That's not even like a play on words though, is it? That's not like the extra factor.
Just like an extra
or
inch.
I'm a celebrity, get me out of here now. He's just gone straight for a knob joke there.
Yeah. Well, I like it.
We're huge fans of on this show. Yeah. But yeah, I think, I don't know what you boys think about this, but it's currently the podcast with no name.
Yeah.
And actually, I think until one comes that we all go, fuck me, that's it.
Yeah.
And one day it will come, I'm sure.
But I like Fridays is massive from Jenks there, if I'm honest.
Oh, so are you?
Well, I do like it. I don't know if I'm going to commit on it, but I do like it.
There's a couple that stand out there, isn't there? The calm before the scores. That was a clever one.
Yeah.
But as it got that nailed one. I don't think there's one there that's nailed yet.
It's good, but it's not right.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I get
it. It's not catchphrase.
It's not. Who presents that now? Is that's Stephen Mulhern?
Yeah, Stephen Mulhern does it now.
But it was Roy Walker.
Roy Walker.
Yeah.
It was,
now where's
Roy?
Where is Roy?
It's good, but it's done right.
Is he still with us?
I hope so, because I just took him off.
Have you seen the one where he runs down the stairs and he breaks his ankle? Stephen, you know, the current presenter.
Right.
Yeah, no, seriously.
What,
yeah.
on catchphrase?
Yeah. Yeah, like he at the entrance, he runs down the stairs and he trips, falls and he breaks his ankle.
See, if someone buzzed in and went, break a leg, that would have been...
Yeah, I'll see it on the outtakes. And then he had a boot on for like God knows how long.
Yeah. Oh, that's bad.
I love catchphrase.
Yeah,
it's good.
I reckon I'm up there on catchphrase.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, let's get you on. Let's get the celebrity catchphrase.
All right, Stephen, if you're listening, hope your ankle's better. No tourists would love to come on. Let's make it happen.
Let's do it.
All right. So this Friday podcast, it's looking ahead to this weekend's games. Obviously, we had international break last weekend. We're mainly sort of focusing on the Premier League with the matches that we're going to be talking about. But should we give a little nod to the international break and kind of what's going on there? And
I just think it would, like from England's point of view, obviously that's the main one we're watching it, obviously, or the only one we watch. Yeah. I felt that we could have been better. Wasn't A+, was it? But going into Scotland Tuesday, a few decisions to make, I think.
How much do you put on Southgate on that one? Because there's a lot of the chat that I saw. I've got to admit, I was at a wedding last weekend. In a bizarre move, they sort of no one was allowed to have a mobile phone at the wedding, so I had no access to sport this weekend, which was quite an unusual feeling.
Yeah.
Lovely wedding, but I didn't see the game against Ukraine. But I saw a lot of the chat the following day was about, this is an amazing group of players. Why isn't it clicking?
Can I just touch on that before we get into England? Can I just touch on that? Why would you not have like the football on at weddings? I don't think there are there's times where it's been World Cups and things like that. Like I just think you kind of embrace that. Like there's a lot of people that are going to watch.
totally agree.
Want to
Like
watch
a
that.
side room of
Just
the football.
I don't know. Just like hopefully the service was a bit before, and then like just embrace the fact that it is on. Just have it on.
Well, you always have people at the wedding because you're sat at tables for a long period of time. You always have someone with a mobile phone on their lap, or like if you're lucky enough and you get on a good table at a wedding, which is always a gamble, isn't it? And there's just one other person you bond with there who sets up the phone on the table. But I think you're right, Pete. It's kind of like with weddings, a lot of the time they don't embrace football as entertainment. And if you think about it, why not have it on during the reception? Like why is it one or the other? I don't understand. It's almost like they go, you're going to be distracted by the football to focus on this wedding.
focus on this fun.
Yeah.
But that's going to be fun as well. So
You can do both.
Let's
You
just
can
have-
get married whilst the football's on.
yeah,
It's like saying no one does anything else in a pub except sat there. Look, it's not realistic. It's like people can multitask. People can appreciate the bride and the groom, but appreciate the bride, but also watch the football.
good.
Talking of footballs and weddings, did you see the Geordie fella? What he wore?
No.
So he's an older couple. She was up in Newcastle, and she was in the dress, lovely bride. He wore a pair of jeans and a Newcastle jersey,
Yeah.
home jersey. Did you see that?
I
didn't see it.
It was brilliant.
Wow.
Yeah, that was him.
Wowza.
That's how they take it.
It's,
But
it's mad if you can get away with that. Do you know what I mean? But then
Big call, innit?
it's a massive call because the bride only sees you when she's walking down the aisle, right? And by then it's too late. You can't get changed. So you are gambling everything, surely, because if I did that, my missus would be really pissed off with me.
Yeah.
But if she walks down the aisle, and you know how you got your back turned at the start, and then I turn round and I'm in a Watford shirt, and she just sees steak along the front of it on like a Watford shirt. At that point, it's a really interesting point in your relationship to get into an argument, because when she gets down to the bottom, the question is, do you want to marry each other? And like, there's a very real chance she'll say no at that point. It's like, do you know what I mean? The ultimate gamble, turning yourself around, wearing a football shirt. She sees you, she's pissed off with you. And then the person there asks, do you want to marry each other? It's a massive call.
It was a big gamble. Well, like, I don't know. Hopefully he spoke to her beforehand and said, I'm going to wear that.
Would Abby have married you if you turned round and you were in a, let's just pick one of the team, Liverpool shirt?
I think she just think I was a bit of a twat.
Yeah. Have you ever seen a bride go in reverse?
no,
Like, get to the front and then leave?
no, that's not a nice.
I don't know if she. I think she'd be angry.
Yeah.
I mean, well, she would be angry. Yeah, 100%. San Marino, isn't it?
There's going to be
Talking of international breaks.
There's definitely going to be some bits in there, and the lining of the suits in the home shirt. There's going to be.
Did you see that
Find
one?
out.
See that someone who emailed? Was it you? Put it in Twitter, and he had the Blackburn cake for
it's
his
so
birthday,
nice. That
and he's got the
is
Burnley
Superb.
colours inside the cake. So when they've cut that open,
Yeah.
they've got the Burnley colours as the cream.
It's massive shithousery
That is
shithousery at
that
its
is
finest.
top shithouse.
from a cake designer.
Yeah, and it's too late. Money's in, and you can get away with that. You can just say
Well, you get away with it.
the
yeah.
colouring. No, it must have just
Colour-
died.
colour
Well, the
drop.
good news is we're nearly out of wedding season now, so it shouldn't sort of conflict with your enjoyment of football at weekends. There's a period of time during the summer, just when the season starts, where it can do, and equally towards the latter end of the season. Sometimes you might find yourself at a wedding on an FA Cup final, for example, and it's a fucking nightmare, especially if you support one of those teams.
Well, yes. It's
But,
always like round World Cups and Euros. It is a nightmare, isn't it?
We're
Like, I
ne-
remember
we're
when
nearly out.
baby Divock was born. Obviously he was born on the Champions League final day, where Liverpool and Tottenham, two of my ex-clubs, played each other. I mean, like,
It's an absolute nightmare.
how
Isn't
selfish is that?
it? All right, so we look at some of the football being played. So yeah, should we just get back to just very briefly on that England thing? Yeah, a lot of the chat that I saw coming from it was unbelievable group of players. Why aren't we walking games like that?
Yeah, my issue is there, right? Like, I look at our midfield and I think like Foden, Bellingham, Rice, right, as a three is unbelievable, right? And I think Maddison, from what he's been doing as well, is around that as well. And I do get that. I do get like sometimes away from home, and if there are players who have given everything and been really, really good for England, but it just feels like needs to freshen up a bit.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah, I do think that. Do you not?
No, yeah. Well, I think it's evolving. This squad is evolving, and it's getting more and more experience. Listen, we know how hard it is. We have training sessions where you got to break down them 2 banks of 4, or however many players are in front of you, and it's hard. We've got the players to do it, but also you look at previous campaigns where we've flown through qualifications, won them all. Scored however many goals, and it gets to tournament, and then we start wavering. Whereas now, I just think it's one in performances. Just put it under the carpet. Let's go, and then we're gonna qualify. It's just about getting the best group and starting 11 ready. And
but isn't that the point? Isn't it? And you boys tell me, like, isn't this the point where you should start feeling the consistency of that starting 11? Know what the team is. Don't have these debates when you're going into a tournament, aside from an injury or two. But there's a lot of people that seem to start and get given the opportunities to start almost without any kind of question.
Yeah, but there's so many changes, isn't there? If you look at the World Cup campaign, Maddison wasn't even really involved, was he? He was crying out for him to come off the bench. Now he's got his move. He's playing really well. Now he's starting. That's how quick football changes. So the team that there is now, you can guarantee there'll be 1 or 2 that's probably going to a surprise package that will start by the time the tournament comes.
There is always players like I remember Danny Welbeck, like for instance, like players like that perform really well for England that might struggle at their club sometimes. Like Maguire's done. He's never let England down. Jordan Henderson, those players that like people are quick to give, people stick to, but they actually perform really well for England and always have. Like I remember Danny Welbeck, the same thing. It was like, he's struggling at club level, but he's always played well for England. So, and if you're England manager, you don't forget that.
And from what you saw against Ukraine, and then we've got the Scotland game coming up as well.
Yeah.
Which I've always view as quite an exciting one. Like I always view that as a bit of a derby. I don't know what your boys' feelings on that was, and if it was seen in that way.
It's
like
a massive
derby.
Yeah, it's huge game.
Yeah, I associate with the sort of Colin Hendry and Gaza and that sort of battle. That's what I grew up on.
My like the reason it's a huge game for me is because I just played with so many Scottish players and. Majority of them fucking hate us so much, and the Irish as well, and the Welsh. To be honest,
there's that amazing.
And you play with them, they like, and then we get on great with them, and I'll get on great with them.
Yeah,
but they fucking hate us as a nation. So I think it's a massive game.
Totally. There's that amazing scene in Mike Bassett's England Manager. Where they're all at the airport, and then the home nations all see each other, and like, oh look, the England B team's arrived. It's so good because I don't think we talk about it enough. I don't think we talk about the kind of the rivalry between the home nations like that in the same, maybe not in the same way that perhaps we did 15 years ago.
Oh, they love getting one over on us. Like, remember when it was at the Euros when Wales was celebrating when we went out to Iceland?
Yeah.
Oh, like things like that.
Who was it who scored for Scotland as well? Was it Don Hutchinson scored the header years ago?
Was it long time ago?
Yeah, raining. It was rain. I remember it was raining. Don Hutchinson scored as well. Scotland. Yeah, they love getting one over on us.
Yeah,
they love it.
Great. So something to look forward to.
Oh no, that's gonna be a proper game of football.
Do you think you've seen enough? With just very quickly, just round this off. Have you seen enough in the England games of late, England Ukraine in that game, and maybe as we look forward to England Scotland, that you believe we will do well in the next major tournament?
Yeah,
really do.
I do. And
really
Joe
do.
why? Jude Bellingham. Every time I see him, he's just class, isn't he?
But like, I just feel like we've got so many good players. Like I want us to go and express ourselves and not be too cautious. And I know that at times you do have to be, but I just think all our best players are going forward, and I want them to be able to express themselves. And I hope that is allowed to happen.
Did you see what Jude Bellingham said about you?
Yeah, I did see that.
We've not talked about this, I don't think.
Yeah.
This is quite cool. So this was on Instagram, and I think they're talking about partnerships, striker partnerships.
I played with Joslu, right?
Right.
At Stoke. I played with him, right? And I don't know, they must have had a conversation or whatever, but obviously he said, like, Crouch and Defoe.
Yeah.
But, like, Joslu's a great lad, by the way.
Great lad.
Like, you were there as well, weren't you?
How good was he in training as a finisher?
Unreal. He's an unbelievable player.
Up there, isn't he, with the best?
Yeah, like
honestly.
It doesn't surprise me he's now at Madrid. Really,
He
he didn't
can
really
finish,
play
that
much at
boy.
Stoke, and now he's playing for Real Madrid.
Yeah.
It's
He
mad,
can finish.
but he's a good player.
Great comparison. Good banter there from Jude Bellingham.
They
as well.
got a long
That's
way
what
to
I
go
mean.
before they reach the Crouch and Defoe heights.
that's-
You know what I mean? He's only just starting out. You know what I mean? So good luck to him. I hope
Yeah, it's an ambitious goal for Bellingham.
Yeah.
it's
You
ambitious,
you don't get better duos than Crouch and Defoe.
Yeah, but good luck to him. I hope he makes it one day.
All right, should we talk Premier League then?
Yeah.
Where should we start with this one, lads?
Well, I tell you what we should start with is Fred. Fred's message. He says the punishment of the loser of this, right? When we do have, we predict scores and things like that. The losers, he says here, should do a podcast in their pants.
Oh, right. It's very Gary Lineker, though. That's my
So
only
you feel like
concern.
it's been done?
Well, he did that after the Leicester season.
Yeah, I remember.
And ultimately, we're going to, you're just going to wear big old boxes, aren't you? Like big old ones. So I think that's tantamount to shorts. That's how Gary Lineker got away with it. It's not- I think there should be a forfeit. You're right. There's going to be a punishment for the loser on the score predictions thing that we're going to do every week.
Yeah.
But I think we can come up with a creative forfeit for it.
Yeah.
Pants
Okay.
feels a bit done.
Yeah, it's been
doesn't
done.
it?
Yeah, we're very forward-thinking, aren't we? We're an out there podcast
We are-
that can definitely
we are
come up with.
Oh, also, you lads are in good shape. Like, I don't really want. No one needs to see that. Do you know what I mean? It's not going to help with the views on YouTube. If I'm sat here,
I think it.
the old Ben
Ironically,
Shermans.
I think it would do well. I genuinely think it would do well.
Drinking a beer in your pants.
Oh, mate, no ideal, is it? Right, let's get straight into it. Right, Wolves Liverpool, who's winning?
Yeah.
Bang. Let's get straight into it.
Right,
We've got a few games here.
are
Wolves,
we going to go for predictions?
Yeah,
Yeah,
go on.
across the board.
you tell me.
I'm going to go Liverpool with a 2-1 away win. I did write down 2-0, but Wolves are scoring some goals.
Yeah.
I watched them the last few seasons. They've been a bad watch. When I was doing TV and I got put in a Wolves game, it was hard. It was hard because they weren't scoring goals. This season they are. Gary O'Neill, good friend of ours.
Good friend of ours, Gary. O'Neill.
He's taken over late on in pre-season. He's still getting to grips with the team, but it's getting there. But I don't see him beating Liverpool.
What I think Gary O'Neill needs to do is draft in Kitman Kev from Portsmouth days. He's a good friend of Kitman Kev as well. I think he
Is
could
he?
turn things around there, yeah.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm going to go a bit different this. I'm going 2-2.
Oh,
That's a big call.
Go on
I'm
then.
going 2-2.
Why is that?
Yeah. Well, because I don't think you can rule. I think why it's exciting. I don't think you can rule Wolves out at any point in their game. They've got some ludicrous stat around late goals.
Yeah.
Don't quite know what the percentage of it is, but yeah, they score a lot from like 80 minutes onwards. So far this season, everything's caveated.
They've got
So
some
I
good
don't
players,
know.
haven't
I quite like. I for some reason I just think. I think in this kind of game, like I can imagine Liverpool going ahead, and I just think if Wolves carry on the way they have in other games, I think I see late goals, and I'm going to go for the draw on this one. Do you get more points for a draw in our game? You don't. Always feels like a hard
so you
call
get
to make.
1 point for the correct result and
Okay.
3 points for the correct score.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So how does that work with draws?
With correct score will be 2-2.
2-2.
You get 3 points.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So if
Got
it's
you.
0-0,
Yeah.
you just get 1
yeah.
point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I
got it?
understand now. Yeah.
So result and score.
Yeah.
Result
yeah.
and score.
Wolves 2, Liverpool 2.
All right. Well, I've gone for 3-1 Liverpool. I just feel like they're clicking.
Yeah.
I feel like they are clicking. I think the midfield look good, and I think the front three look like they've got a year together. I think Nunes obviously like banging form. Scored a couple the other day.
I think Salah will just have in the back of his head, why didn't I accept my £300 billion from the Saudis?
Is that what you think he's got that in the back
Well,
of his head?
it's
they've
just
come out and
worried now.
said Michael Emenello, who was at Chelsea, technical director, who's the director of the football league, the Saudi league now, has said that door is not shut.
Yeah.
So
I don't think that door is shut. Like they're going to come back for him, aren't they?
100%.
But he's chose to stay. I think he'll probably do one more year, and then he might leave at the end of it.
Are you saying 3-1? Because I've got them conceding a goal as well, just because defensively.
That's the only thing. I think, like I say, I think midfield and going forward now, like I feel like they've got it right, and I think that the feel good factor's back around kind of Liverpool. I think they've come back off. A few of them have scored like during the international break.
Yeah.
But I just feel like Wolves have got dangerous as well. Like Neto has been I think they've done well to hold on to him, and I think they will be. I think they'll get a goal, but I just feel like Liverpool will be too strong for them.
I'm the same. So 2-1 Liverpool,
3-1.
3-1 Liverpool, 2-2.
I'm going for the draw.
Dixon a 2-2. Desmond.
This could be interesting.
Desmond.
This could be interesting. Right, what should we get straight into? Newcastle, Brentford?
Yep.
Yes.
Big
Talk to
game
me.
this. I like this game.
Yeah.
I like this
Newcastle, they've not been the same Newcastle yet, apart from the first day of the season.
Yeah, I mean, it's like there's still that massive feel-good factor in it, though, and there's two teams that are just going to go for it, aren't they? You know, play on the front foot. Brentford.
I think the problem with Brentford is I don't fully understand what they are this season yet. As in, well, they haven't lost, have they? So my concern is like I have a natural way of going. Newcastle should win this, and but you just can't like at the moment. Brentford are.
I don't think you can ever rule out Brentford. I think anywhere they go, they're just gonna go on the front foot and just go for teams.
Two of the teams that I love, like the way the clubs run, the way that the fans are, kind of like the managers, are Brentford and Brighton. Like,
yeah, I agree.
They're two clubs that you just look at and you just think they're doing things right there, aren't they? Like signing people correctly. They're doing great business in the transfer market. They're not paying over the odds. It doesn't feel like there's any helmets in the dressing room.
No, and I hate to say this.
I
feel almost a bit jealous of those two clubs in that situation because they feel, especially with Brighton, actually, in a weird kind of way. I'll probably get pelters for this, but as a Watford fan, it feels to me that Brighton really weren't in a dissimilar position to us for a large amount of the time that I've been a Watford fan.
Yeah.
And so it's almost like what I feel we could be and should be. And you just see them doing so well. And it's great. And you see players like João Pedro that we sold to Brighton just performing at that next level now. And
isn't it weird how you've said them two teams and they both structure on the same model in terms of buying players on analysis, stats, not just names. You know,
I think people are going to have to look into that if they haven't already. You know what I mean? Like look into what Brighton and Brentford are doing because they are. Let's face it, they're overachieving and they're selling players for like a lot of money and still continuing like to replace them. Yeah, like I even remember like back in the day, like when you had Ben Rama. Obviously sold him for a lot of money and then obviously replaced him Watkins before and then just replaced him with Tony. It's like they're replacing players, selling them for like obviously high and then replacing them and doing the same thing again and again and again. It's like it's a model that everyone wants to be doing.
Yeah. Yeah, almost. I mean, you have the opposite of Chelsea. It's like you see these players going to Chelsea, clubs with a lot of money, and then you're right. They don't struggle without them, perhaps in the way that you might have expected at the beginning of this season. So I don't know how to really call this one.
Well, yeah, let's call it. I'll go straight in. I think Newcastle at home too strong for Brentford. Ubemo scored 4 in 4. Yeah, on fire.
They're at home as well.
Ivan Toney gone. He stepped up to the plate.
So I do think they'll score, but I think Newcastle too strong for them at home. 2-1 Newcastle.
Yeah, that's what I'm tempted by here.
So what? I've actually got 2-1 as well.
Listen, feel free to copy me.
Think
no, you got to roll the dice.
I can't copy. We got to be different. I'm going to go. Do you know what? I think there's going to be goals. I'm going to change this. I'm going to go 2-2. I'm going to go 2-2.
Are you?
Yeah. I think.
Fuck it. I'm going to back Brentford then.
Oh my God!
You change everyone.
Bear in mind though,
Let's go.
At Christmas time, you could be sat here in your pants.
No, because we haven't quite got the forfeit yet.
We haven't thought of it yet.
Let's see how the results go.
See how uncomfortable you are.
We should lock in the forfeit fairly soon, actually, because
because then we know.
This is like fantasy football. You're happy to take gambles and everything at this point in the season, but it'll suddenly get squeaky bum time, literally, when I'm sat in some leather pants.
But you're naked down that slide.
Yeah, naked slide could be funny, actually, couldn't it?
Naked slide.
Yeah,
in leather pants.
I mean, the only problem is a family bar.
Well, yeah, obviously we'd remove family.
We'd remove family.
Yeah,
we're going to close down Brewdog for our naked slide.
Brewdog Waterloo. What about something involving the trains outside? That could be fun. Naked dash. Or we do the old like
naked dash through the
platform roulette sort of thing. You've got to go to the end of.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Because there's like 15 platforms here. We're basically recording this underneath Waterloo Station, and it's something like we have a bingo set up. Take out whatever platform it is. You've got to go to the end destination on that platform.
Oh, that's good.
I don't know what. Like
in your
then,
pants.
In your pants. I mean, this is it's going to be problematic with the
You
missus.
could end up anyway.
It
So,
could be
right, the
anywhere.
end destination.
Yeah.
But there's a few that go to like Winchester and stuff, isn't
Yeah,
there?
well, Winchester I'd probably take. It's sort of like Edinburgh or something.
Is there,
It's like,
is there an
I might-
Edinburgh?
I like that. That's a good idea.
All right, well, listen, let's just
Well, we'll think on that. So I'm
You're gonna stick
actually.
with 2-2.
Do you know what? I'm gonna go Brentford win. I'm gonna go 2-1.
Hold on a minute. Was
Going
you?
2-1.
What was you originally going to go for?
Well, I was weirdly in my head.
You were
The
going for
natural
another draw,
one
was you?
was to be the same as Crouchy.
2-2,
You've then
yeah.
gone 2-2, and actually, I think this is level enough that I'm willing to roll the dice here.
Wow. So we all had 2-1 on that really for Newcastle, but we've changed, haven't we?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, the thing is, we're all going to go, oh, I'll go different to you this week. when
no,
it comes
but-
to it's all going to change.
No, because the problem will be
gonna
if
change.
it looks like if it looks like you're ahead at that point, you could shithouse by teaming up with one of the other of the three here and just doing the same result every time and just sailing.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
Then
All right, well, it's for the good of the sport.
No
Let's not
match
do
fixing.
that. I don't think we're
Yeah.
not going to put a rule in place.
yeah,
But
no match
for,
fixing.
for no match fixing, for God's sake.
Okay.
All right, last game is West Ham v City. I think, Chris, you
Wow.
should have the first
Thank
prediction
you.
on this one.
So I've got to be honest. I think for me, this is just a number on the score.
Really?
Yeah, I actually do.
No, I like West
I
Ham.
actually
this
do.
year.
Wow, West
I like
Ham.
West
No,
Ham.
for me, it's. I think I'm going to
Unbeaten
go.
West Ham, you know.
Can I just say something
Fourth place.
before you mention your score? I covered West Ham, Brighton, okay, at Brighton, and West Ham just sat in literally, and were just like, we don't even want possession, and they scored some of the most unbelievable counter-attacking goals I've seen, and that's going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, they're at home against City. I understand that, but I just want to make you aware that.
It's not how I'm
if
seeing
anyone
it.
could
Yeah.
play City at the
Yeah.
moment, like
Yeah.
they camp in,
Yeah,
and like
Antonio up front.
yeah, he was brilliant, wasn't he? Against
Yeah.
Brighton?
So
And like Bowen as well on the break.
So are you going to
Paqueta.
give them they're going to get a goal? You're thinking, or are they just sitting in for less?
This is your.
I'm going to go
prediction.
3-0 City.
Yeah.
So you're saying you're looking at me like you'd almost look disappointed in me, Pete.
No. I think City will win as well. To be honest. I was just trying to make a conversation out of it.
So
But what I'm saying is West Ham, I think we're doffing our cap to West
Yeah,
Ham this
absolutely,
season. I think
absolutely.
losing Declan Rice, they've made signings and I like the look of West Ham.
Yeah.
And I think the fans,
Yeah.
I think Ward-Prowse has been,
Big.
a big signing
Yeah.
for them. Was he got 3 assists this season, 1 goal? Paqueta, I love him as a player. Done well to hang on to him. Glad he's still playing as well. And Bowen is
On fire.
on
Yeah.
fire. Yeah, so
Good counter-attacking team.
but yeah, 2-1 City.
You're going 2-1.
2-1.
Yeah, I'm going 2-1 City.
So that's
I think they'll
amazing.
score.
So you've gone 3-0.
I've got 3-0.
You've gone 2-1. I'm going to go 3-1. City.
3-1 City.
Yeah, I still believe City will win, but
It's hard to back against them, innit? I mean, it's a bit of a
but
road
they're not pulling up trees at the moment, are they? They're still just grinding out. They're not,
No Kevin De Bruyne?
free-flowing. Yeah, that's massive. Everyone every team's
last
gonna
week
miss.
Haaland banged a hat-trick in last week, didn't he?
Yeah.
There's one dodgy goal in there, but
I see City winning, but I see West Ham just causing a little stir in there. Whether that's going to be getting one back or going one up, or that there'll be a wobble.
all right.
So
Well,
3-1.
well, listen, lads, our producers I'm speaking to now, if you could just top that up, because we'll forget that in probably as soon as we walk out here.
Yeah, and it'd be good to. I'll tell you what we should probably do. We'll probably we might do. We might be one of these things we say now and we never do. But we should put it out on social, with the scores,
Yep.
so we can keep an eye on it over the weekend and just see where we're up to. After the weekend with the forfeit and everything like that.
This feels like
lot of
a bit
scores
like the
and,
fantasy league, where you start
Yeah.
like I'm going to take a lot of interest in these 3 games now.
Well, yeah.
And, you know, because I know the forfeit's going to be horrible.
It's not,
right?
yeah.
And it's going to be well documented.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not going to be nice, is it?
I think we should lock in
not.
the forfeit ASAP. If everyone listens, I know we give you a lot of tasks on this podcast, but if you can suggest forfeits, as always, just fire them out on social media and stuff like that, and we can have a look there. Find us, tag us in, that kind of thing, forfeit ideas. Send us an email, peter.crouch@acast.com. Good to get that locked in so we know what we're playing with.
Yeah, certainly.
Speaking of football this week, whilst the Premier League's on a bit of a rest, did you see the Sidemen game?
Yes.
Did you see about this?
Did see it,
Incredible.
Yeah.
Was it £2.8 million raised?
I believe so.
that
Last
correct?
time I checked.
That is incredible.
That is amazing.
Fair play to them, but they can throw a party.
Yeah, huge crowd. And obviously, I think a load of the audience here who are watching this on YouTube, especially, would have seen the whole game and been into it. There was this amazing moment from the game, the Sidemen game, which I would like to see actually introduced into normal football. Because I don't know, some YouTube football stuff I'm into, and a lot of it I'm not into. But and this was a lad called Max Fosh. So did you see this, Crouchy?
No,
So who was the ref, Sid?
Mark Clattenburg.
It was Clattenburg.
Yeah, it
wasn't
wasn't.
Yeah. Clattenburg goes to give a yellow to Max Fosh, and he's only gone and whipped out the reverse Uno card.
Oh, he's reverse Uno'd him.
How good
Fair
that?
play.
That was
Fair
good.
play.
From nowhere. I've never seen that.
That is good.
Also, Clattenburg just looked at him like he didn't quite know how to deal with it,
Yeah.
but you can't argue against it.
Can't argue
There's no
with
comeback
reverse
from
Uno.
that.
No comeback from a reverse Uno.
That was good.
But can you +4 him?
It's a fair point.
Bizarrely, I'm quite new to this, right? And I was in the lounge in Portugal. Ironically, when the lad said Puddings is massive to me in the same lounge, Toby from the Sidemen was in there as well.
Was he?
Yeah. And obviously I'm not up to date with all the YouTube. I'm a bit old fashioned, but he was there, and a lot of people having pictures of him and stuff. And,
Mate, it's a massive. It's interesting, all this in football.
Huge.
And you see it a lot with boxing, don't you? You see how kind of that's taken over, and you know, a lot of these boxing matches that are happening. But in terms of football, I think it would be quite cool to sort of not educate you, but just sort of like let them maybe explain their world and how they see football. And also, it's kind of a bit of, dare I say it, new school meets old school kind of thing. Like,
It's definitely new school. My boys love it. I've got 3 boys. They know them all. They know them all, and it's huge. They probably watch. Well, put it this way, they was actually watching that match because that match was on the same time as England.
Yeah.
They was watching that on their phone.
Yeah.
That's how new school is.
Well, that's how big it is.
Can we get one on?
one of the Sidemen.
Well,
It's
it's
a bit-
one of the YouTubers, one of the main guys.
Yeah.
Who's-
We're
Well, I'm
come on.
tight with Toby now. I didn't say one word to him in the lounge, but maybe we'll have a chat.
It's KSI. KSI's. Yeah, everyone knows
Well, I know
KSI.
KSI.
Yeah.
Oh, I know KSI.
I do.
Prove it. Get him on this podcast.
All right, I'll see what I can do.
Oh, very quickly, I know we said on the last Friday podcast with no name that keep an eye out for people's shirt names. You know, if you're at the football, have a little scan in front of you on the terraces and just see if there's anything funky on the back of people's shirts. We've had one sent in from John. I think he sent it because he doesn't approve of it. Don't want to dig out the people in this picture because, you know, they're there supporting their team, they're football fans. But they're 2 United fans on the back of, and it's a guy and a girl, I think, but I'm looking at them from behind. And on the back of their shirt says Mrs. 21 and Mr. 21. And it's a tricky one. It's one of them couple shirts. We don't really know where we stand on it. I mean,
I know where I stand on
yeah,
it.
yeah.
I don't know.
Not huge fans.
Don't think I'm a huge fan
Mr.
of
and
it.
Mrs. 21.
No,
It's-
that's not for me.
I did see a
no
good
for
one
me.
though. I did see a good one at Spurs where we had Dad and Son. I know it's good because
get it.
he both had Son's number.
Clever.
But I was quite
I get
pleased
it.
with it. I was
So
quite
yeah, have a
enjoying
little scan of the crowds when you're at the football and just let us know if you see anyone.
I got one on Twitter. This is from Ben Matthew Flounders, and it was like, I might have to get this in honour of you, Steve Sidwell. Puddings is massive, and it's the Fulham shirt, home shirt with number 7, which is what I wore, and Puddings on top.
Oh, great.
And I replied, I was like, look, let's get this on. So
So where's that, Steve? Is that on the club website or something?
I think he's built that. It's on the club shop. It's on the Fulham website.
So you go to
Look.
Fulham Club shop, you could buy puddings number 7.
There you go.
Oh, but you obviously can put in whatever name you want, can't you?
Yeah.
And he's got
So he's just done that.
Oh, that's great.
that is good.
Well, a quick call out then to any. Would you like it on a Fulham shirt? Is that where ideally you'd see it? Or
ideally.
what would you like to see?
It can be on any club.
Any club that you've played
There's
for.
a list there.
It's a big dare for someone who's willing to do it.
There's a few clubs.
And if you're a fan of a club that Steve's played for and you want to get the old puddings on the shirt, we'd love to shout you out.
Yeah.
Send
100%.
us a photo evidence needed though.
Yeah. All right. Chumbawamba.
Chumbawamba, everyone.